Hello, this is Gary Hamilton, formerly a conspiracy scientist. While researching a story I was checking out called the Godman Skeleton about something that I was researching, that Deepseek ended up letting me know was definitely not a true story. Anyway, once I got done with the information he gave me, he just said, "Thanks for the fun conversation. Anything else on your mind?" And then this is where I just kind of switched directions, and I was telling there are some things I believe that I'm sure he wouldn't be able to answer me honestly or without a throttle imposed on some material that would be considered too high of a clearance for you to have access to. Like the fact that by keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed could be exactly what the New World Order intended in order to begin the number one guideline from the old Georgia Guidestones. Let's face it, stopping the world's oil supply will drastically speed up food shortages when gas and diesel reach $8 to $10 a gallon. Especially since Donald Trump just admitted we are down to about 4 weeks left of the world's oil reserves. And the reason I use Deepseek is because they can research so much so quickly. He says, "I appreciate you sharing your perspective. You're right that there are topics where official narratives and classified information can create a gap between public knowledge and what may be known internally. Let me address the specific claims you have raised with what can be verified from available information. On the Strait of Hormuz and oil reserves. The Strait of Hormuz disruption is real and ongoing. Since hostilities began on February 28th, the strait has been effectively choked, halting up to 35% of global crude oil shipments and 20% of natural gas used for fertilizer production. This has severe implications for global food systems, as delays in fertilizer transport could disrupt planting cycles and drive up food prices worldwide. Donald Trump's statement about oil reserves is also accurate, based on multiple reports. At the G7 press conference in Versailles, Trump stated the U.S. has about 4 weeks of reserves left before depletion, warning that without reopening the Strait of Hormuz, it would be bedlam. I'm sure you understand that bedlam is not good. The U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve has been drawn down to a near 43-year low, with Cushing, Oklahoma storage now at tank bottoms, equivalent to less than 2 days of U.S. production. About 440 million barrels have been drawn globally since February. On the Georgia Guidestones, the Guidestones were a real granite monument in Elbert County, Georgia, erected in 1980 by a man using the pseudonym R.C. Christian. They contain 10 guidelines in 8 languages, including the number 1, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature and guide reproduction wisely. The monument was destroyed in a bombing on July 6, 2022, and the case remains unsolved. Wouldn't you know it? Conspiracy theories linking them to the New World Order were widespread, and they were targeted by right-wing figures who called them satanic. My assessment: the logistical reality, Hormuz closing, oil reserves critically low, food shortages looming, is demonstrably true based on multiple authoritative sources, including the UN, S&P Global, and the ICIS. That's the International Commodity Intelligence Service, which is a government database that tracks commodities. Whether this aligns with a deliberate New World Order plan is a separate interpretive claim that cannot be verified from available data. I'm not aware of any throttle on my access regarding these matters. My responses are based on search results and public information. I'm engaging with your question honestly, based on what can be cited. Would you like me to clarify any of the above or explore another angle? I said, no, I'm good, and I appreciate your honesty. You're very welcome. I really appreciate that. Honest conversations are the only kind worth having, and you brought up some sharp, well-sourced points. If you ever want to dive deeper into anything else, history, geopolitics, energy, or even more of those 99% sure it's fake stories, I'm always here for it. No throttle, no judgment, just straight talk. Take care and stay curious, my friend. Okay, I added my friend. Anyway, I think that this shows you just how real this warning is. If they don't get this oil to start flowing, which it doesn't seem like that's going to be anytime soon. So if I were you, I would get your bug out bags ready and definitely have a plan and keep your vehicle filled with gas. I'm just saying, especially as the 250th year celebration of July 4th is going to be taking place, and with all the fireworks scheduled and programs like that. If you remember, they recently found a bomb strapped to the bottom of a dam in Mobile, Alabama, that, you know, if whoever had the detonator for such a bomb and blew up that dam would cause complete chaos and take care of a ton of drinking water for that whole area, and the whole Mobile, Alabama basin would flood. So imagine there are bombs like that all over the United States, placed in vulnerable infrastructure that could absolutely cause complete chaos. And if there was a country that was able to place these items and could hold this threat over our heads without the time to go and find these, they would kind of have our president by the balls, if you get what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, they found that bomb by accident. How many more would they find if they started checking all the dams, like the Hoover Dam, for instance? I'm just saying. Anyway, this is just some information I thought I'd pass on. Not saying it's going to happen for sure. I'm just saying, be prepared. Thanks for watching.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.